Big Sky, howdy, and welcome back to another episode of World Bigfoot Central. And howdy, everybody. Welcome back to the show, and it's the year-end wrap-up here. We got the best of 2025 coming to you. You're seeing some of the video right now as I'm speaking, telling you guys what's going on. I was out at an investigation with Alternate Plains channel last night up in Ronan of little people, Bigfoot, and potentially Skinwalker activity on this property on the reservation. We were up there all night long, spent most of it outdoors, which is just amazing considering January 31st in Montana, and we didn't freeze to death. As a matter of fact, it stayed not only above zero, but above freezing the whole time we were there, so it was really doable. And we got some epic stuff that we're going to be showing you on both our channels upcoming here in the near future. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And if you want to preview what these guys are like, one of their videos is actually at the end of this show, premiering here on my channel for the first time. It was a cooperative operation we did toward the end of last year where I took one of the show hosts from the channel out on expedition with me a couple times, and we went and looked for Bigfoot evidence, and yeah, we found some, and that'll be at the end of this show. So yeah, look forward to them upcoming here with another show that I've collaborated with them on. Also included in the best of here is my behind the scenes in studio video. As far as I know, the first person ever allowed to walk around Gaia Studios and actually film inside there after the show was filmed. So you can see what their studio looks like. You get to see Jimmy Church, who's going to be on my show soon again. And also the all of the video that we've got in the show. I've tried to put it in more or less chronological order, so it kind of starts in the spring and then works toward the fall generally. And it also includes all of the video that me and Kelly Shaw shot in September when I went down to Utah to spend 3 days running around doing some Bigfooting with him, which was an amazingly successful trip. We even got some kind of Skinwalker thing too. So anyway, all of that coming up. Hope you enjoy it. Stick around to the end of the show. Make sure you catch that premiere for Alternate Plains awesome video because it's so awesome. They're going to enter it into a film festival competition, which they've already done with one of their shows and won. This one they're entering into the Nevada Film Festival and the Fortean Film Festival. So fingers crossed, hope they win something. And if they do, they're already working on trying to pull the funding to do a full-length documentary filmed here this summer, this year. And I've got some amazing guests lined up to be on that thing. So fingers crossed, hope it'll happen. Meanwhile, let's go back to all of the awesome video. Love you guys. Make sure to hit that thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed. If you're on a phone, hit the hype button. And I really appreciate all you guys. Thanks for being here. And now let's get back to the show. That can't be a track because it's got toes. See the toes. Outline of the foot goes back to there. Another freaking giant R.M.S. track. How big is this one, Johnny?
Look like 24.
Only 24? They're getting smaller.
Yep.
Holy crap. Well, that's a relief. I guess we'll keep driving down the valley until the tracks get down to like 18 inches or so, and then they're camped there.
It's R.M.S.O. Bigfoot, bringing you another Montana Sasquatch video from World Bigfoot Central. Several people have pointed out a very dark creature with a brownish caveman-like face, watching Duke as he hikes into some superstructures. The name of the video this is from is called Sasquatch at the Super X, the Watchers in the Woods, because Duke's team captured a grayish color Bigfoot in the act of wood knocking near this same area. The subject in this video has sparked my interest. I enlarged the subject on video by 150% to get a better look, and did not enlarge any more to avoid pixelation. Not saying this is Bigfoot watching Duke in an area with a long history of Bigfoot activity. However, if it is a Sasquatch, it's a different individual than the grayish one they filmed wood knocking. This is a very dark brown or black. You can see its domed head, no neck, and powerful shoulders. The face, as expected, is lighter in color with a strong brow ridge, deep-set eyes, and a large human-like nose. This Bigfoot subject reminds me of the one Les Stroud captured on video in the mountains of Romania, watching him from the cover of the trees. Same hard, chiseled face and strong brow ridge. I am going to play the video back and forth a few times so that you can get a good look at it. If this is indeed a Bigfoot, it is very creepy how close Duke got to it as it hid behind a tangled mess of deadfall. More than likely was a daybed area, and in my opinion, it is a great place to nap or sleep during the day. Lots of cover, and for anything like a human, bear, or mountain lion to get close to this Sasquatch, they are going to have to pick their way slowly through the tangled mess, and very unlikely that something could sneak through this deadfall without making the noise that would alert the Bigfoot to their presence. I hope you enjoyed a look at what may be a Montana Sasquatch in a secure hiding spot, watching some hikers.
Right across from camp. There's a road here, old abandoned one. Out here by myself, down near the camp. Other than the sound of the breeze, it is dead still. And, hey, tracks. How big is that? I'm right across from camp. There's a road here, old abandoned one. Out here by myself, down near the camp. Other than the sound of the breeze, it is dead still.
Scalahoo Mountain Sasquatch and Gash Creek Bigfoot. I saw this footage that Duke Sullivan filmed on Scalahoo Mountain in Montana. Because I have investigated a few Bigfoot encounters about 20 miles from this location not long ago, it sparked my interest to have a closer look. I have stabilized the footage and enlarged the subject by 200%. As Duke pans past the very large Bigfoot-like subject, it seems to raise its head and look right at him before backing behind the two trees as Duke begins to walk away.
Out here by myself, down near the camp. Other than the sound of the breeze, it is dead still. There's a road here, old abandoned one. Out here by myself, down near the camp. Other than the sound of the breeze, it is dead. Are you right under it? A maintained position. Hold on, cameraman has to move. There's Johnny for scale underneath that arch.
And he is standing underneath that X. That is pretty good size X. Pretty crazy. He's probably gonna go check out, see if it's real. Very big. Very big.
Been to this one a few times. The segment from Inevitably Finding Bigfoot. We're on the same hillside filming at X structure, and I pan this way and go zoom, zoom, zoom. Look, there's another X over there. That's this one. The one we were filming it from, I'm not sure if you can see it from here or not because it's set at an angle like this, not like this. So, but it's back over there somewhere. And there's Rhonda. Structures in behind it. Hey Robert, say hi to everybody.
Hi everybody.
That's Robert Boston, Bigfoot in Germany. Next to one of the biggest snap-offs anybody has ever found. Oh my God. That thing is ridiculous. Again, you know, it's like I can't zoom back far enough to get the whole thing. Let's try.
And they snapped it off into there.
Yep. They took that one into two pieces with it.
That was like one of them double trees.
Uh-huh.
It split it. A lot of damage to that tree.
Yeah, all nice green wood. No burn marks from a lightning strike. Wind storms do not snap nice, healthy trees in the middle like that. Okay, skeptards, I want to hear your stupid excuse for it.
Right.
Big honker. You can see where it squashed down the ground from the impact. Toe marks. More squashed down. Heel impressions right here. So we're looking at about 16 inches. And the reason we're finding this is because we're driving by and there's what looks like an X structure back here, so we're going back to check that out. Robert's back there right now.
There's an X. It's not super big, but yep. Oh shit.
Robert for scale. Try and get some more of the X here. Yep, another X structure. Ooh, a long ways from the road.
I don't know what this is, but I'm filming it.
During a
Alright,
Bigfoot
so
expedition into the Uinta Mountains, I took Duke from Missoula, Montana to Skinwalker Ranch and circled the area, showing him some of the places where I have had some strange experiences and captured some of the strange UAP phenomena that this area is famous for. I told Duke that we need to get as much footage and photos as we can because I have found strange saucer-shaped UAPs in some of my past footage. This area is just crazy with UFO activity. At one of the places close to the ranch, I showed Duke a place where Jenny and I watched a giant wolverine make its way through a boulder field. And it was really weird because we haven't ever heard of wolverine sightings in the Uinta Basin. Jen and I saw a giant brown-colored wolverine just outside Skinwalker Ranch on the west side. It was so big that I thought it was a large brown-colored black bear, then realized after seeing its tail that it was in fact a massive wolverine making its way through a large boulder field before disappearing behind one of the giant boulders to never be seen again. Wolverines are very rare for Utah, and I have never heard of a wolverine being spotted in the Uinta Basin. I took several photos of the location while Duke filmed, and I told him about our experience. I captured an unusual UAP anomaly of energy I can't explain on the mesa wall near the boulder field in 3 of my photos. Then, after reviewing Duke's footage, we discovered he captured the same phenomena on video. At first, I thought it was maybe a powerful light reflection from the camera lens, or perhaps from the vehicle or something, even though it's an overcast day. However, whatever this anomaly of energy, or UAP if you will, is seen flying directly over the mesa with the sky in the background, it does not disappear. If this is some kind of reflection, it would disappear without something solid behind it for the light to shine on to form. Also, when it zips into the frame from the right side, it seems to move with purpose, and then hovers over and around the boulder field we are focused on. I am discounting lens flare from Duke's camera for the fact that when he pans away from the boulder field and then back, this UFO thing stays in the same general area of the boulders. I don't know what it is. However, if you have ever watched the Skinwalker Ranch television series, they often capture strange UAPs or UFOs flying around the ranch and mesa.
Actual area that Kelly and Jenny were out here and saw a huge wolverine, which you wouldn't expect to even be out here.
Right across the street from Skinwalker Ranch.
Yep. You can see that there's a little bit of a woodsy area here too, so it wasn't just
see the
ribbed.
giant boulder right here with the split on one side?
Right.
That's the last place we saw it. It went behind that boulder and never reappeared. We got to see it work its way past the giant mushroom one and all of that, and it took its time. I'm just ashamed that we probably got to witness it for a good 10 seconds or so and didn't get it on camera. We got it with the dash cam, but from that distance it was just too pixelated.
Oh my god, a whole 10 seconds. Here, grossy, grossy, grossy. Here, grossy. Yum, yum, grossy, grossy.
There's Bigfoot food. Get it. Crossed the road right here and ran down that.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Yeah, I'm gonna have to tether off with the rope and repel.
yeah, exactly. You'll be all repellent like that guy on Expedition Bigfoot. Is that the word when you're repelling?
Oh yeah, he always has to emergency repel.
Yeah, like the time they found that one Bigfoot hair sample, and he had to emergency repel down to the vehicle.
The one that they figured had been in that nest for years.
Yeah.
But after they collected it and put it in the safety of that plastic test tube and sealed it off, they were afraid that the storm was going to destroy it.
Then it would start degrading right away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now it's protected and in a plastic container. And they had a drone there that they could have just taped it to the drone and flown it down there. But now it's a lot more impressive to get, what's his name, Russ Acorn, to get repellent and repel down the cliff. It looks more dramatic.
I'm glad he does his own stunts. I do my own stunts,
Me
but
too.
I don't go out there looking to do stunts.
Yeah.
I don't make excuses to do them. When I do a stunt, it's because I'm stuck in a predicament and I have to.
No, the reason he does it is because it's one of his selling points. He's former military, he's still in good shape, he's got all the skills. So they try and write it in the script somewhere, or there's some reason for him to actually throw his little rope out.
Yeah, it does scream that there's a script when they do something like that.
Yeah, especially when it's so, like, ridiculous. There's no reason to do it. Oh, I better rappel down the side of this bridge so I can get down there where somebody's seen Bigfoot on the other side. Like, what? You can't just walk across the bridge? That sure looks like one.
Let's go.
Let's go check it out.
Investigate it.
Kelly just spotted one. There's a structure back there. Sure as hell, that's a structure. Now, it may not be made by Bigfoot, as Kelly will tell you, but I'll tell you it was. And Kelly is paying attention on his side of the road. And this one's easy to spot because look, we're in big aspen grove here. And this is the only thing that isn't white yellowish color. Somebody made themselves a nice big structure back here. And if there's a structure back here, we may be able to find some tracks.
Bigfoot sighting hotspot, and we're investigating a structure that we found. We see it way off into the woods. We want to go take a look and see what it's all about. Wow, I'm surprised I saw it from that distance. Probably helps that it's huge.
No doubt.
There is a ton of logs in that thing.
If the humans made it, they wasted a lot of effort for nothing. Yeah, and this is the fastest I've walked all day, folks.
In that thing. Wow. There looks like there's close to 100 logs in that thing. Well, I'm not saying Bigfoot did this, but we are in a Bigfoot sighting hotspot, and we just documented a Bigfoot track not long ago.
This has been an amazing area near Marsh Peak. 6 months ago, Jenny and Kelly documented Bigfoot tracks in a nearby swampy area, and then on this expedition, Duke and Kelly documented another Bigfoot-shaped track near the same location. Not saying we captured Bigfoot at the structure, I don't know what it is, but it's interesting to point out. When I put out our expedition video with this structure in it, I saw what appeared to be a humanoid-like figure in the woods peek at us quickly twice from cover of the aspen trees. Not saying it's Bigfoot watching us inspect this log structure. However, Duke found a 16-inch long Bigfoot-shaped track next to the structure that he believes is pretty fresh. And after finding the same humanoid subject in a still photo of the structure in the same general area as the peeker on video, thought I would point it out for you all. When I zoom in on the photo, the creature or whatever it is has a lighter shade of color in the face area.
Well, I'm not saying Bigfoot did this, but we are in a Bigfoot sighting hotspot, and we just documented a Bigfoot track not long ago. Look at this giant one that was relocated. That grew somewhere else. That is a giant teepee structure. Will you stand inside it, Duke? Just to help give it scale. Wow.
It's got a center post like most of these structures do.
And look, these are all busted off. Pretty cool. It's definitely interesting enough to point out. Look at the size of this log that's in it. I mean, this log's like 30 feet long. 30 feet long and probably weighs a half a ton or better. That is a giant teepee structure. Will you stand inside it, dude? To help give it scale. Wow.
And it's got a center post like most of their structures do.
And look, these are all busted off.
Look, if forestry wants to make a burn pile, they're not going to waste all the time making a giant teepee out of it.
Pretty cool. Definitely interesting enough to point out. Look at the size of this log.
Let's get a little better view from this side.
Like 30 feet long. 30 feet long and probably weighs a half a ton or better.
Well, I'm not saying Bigfoot built this. It's only about 95% sure that Bigfoot built this. Get a shot of Kelly over here. Hey, get over by the teepee and give me some scale. We're going to have Kelly Shaw for scale here. So you tell me, those are some good sized logs. None of them are from there. Somebody drug them in, spent all the time setting that up. For what? Seriously.
Can I get a
Bigfoot
photo
made it.
of you in front of it?
Sure.
I already filmed you in front of it, but I didn't get a photo. Holy shit, it's cool from this angle.
Yeah, that's a pretty neat looking structure. And they spent a lot of time putting it together. You will notice that not one single piece of this wood, except for that one, humans cut that one. The rest of this stuff is all, and there, that one. The rest of this is all naturally broken or snapped.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh.
Will you point out the dimensions?
16-inch track.
16?
16. Are you filming?
Yeah.
Okay, you got the heel down here. Put those up there. That's where the toes are. Got about 7 across.
Going away from the structure.
Yep.
Going away from that thing.
Dude, knuckle bump time. Find something like that that's like, yeah, very unlikely to be humans made it. And oh, by the way, there's a Bigfoot track right there, you know. See, honestly, if I had been planning it, that couldn't have worked out better, because that's something I tell people all the time. They're like, well, you know the Bigfoot makes structures. And I said, yeah, but every time we find Bigfoot structures, we find tracks by them. So there's a perfect example. There's a structure. Well, guess what? There's a 16-inch track
Because they
right
live
there.
in Fremont.
I think we're in Fremont County.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the Egyptians, when they were living here, called themselves Fremont people.
For some reason, these people idolized giant feet. I don't know whether it was Bigfoot, but anyone of importance in their petroglyphs, they depicted with giant
feet. Yeah.
Like the chiefs and the medicine men,
Chief Bigfoot.
the mighty warriors.
Yep.
They gave them giant feet.
The men of renown.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 400 AD, somebody made this. And
Well, according to BYU, the Egyptians somehow got here and made these. And if you look, this is Egyptian clothing, Egyptian weaponry, Egyptian
accoutrement, yeah. Yeah, so it's like somebody wants to erase the fact the Egyptians were here. And the Utes have only been here for what? Or what's the local native tribe here? Well, they've only been in the area for 700 years anyway.
Why aren't they busting these people? Because they don't want them to be busted? Oh, man.
Well, sorry for the sad tidings of bad news, but, you know.
I'm going to wait until Jenny gets home to let her know. I'm not going to tell her while she's on her trip. Up here looking for signs of Bigfoot evidence and come across a structure looking thing. And as you can tell, those did not grow there. And look at this, got folded, that got folded over into it. Folded over.
Driving down the road, and here's what we see. We just went up over the top of the mountain.
Up here looking for signs of Bigfoot evidence and come across a structure looking thing. And as you can tell, those did not grow there.
And see if any of these have been cut off or not.
That got folded over into it.
That one was. A well-worn path going past it. Where are we at here? About like 9,500 feet? 10,000?
We're at about 10,000.
10,000. Starting to rain on us. Phew. So if there's anything within visual acquisition of the roadbed, I'm going to spot it. And I just spotted this as we were going by. And went, hey, structure, baby. Let's go back and take a look.
Coming up on what may be a structure back here on top of the east side of the Uinta Mountains. We're up about 10,000 feet, as high as you can get on this side. Well, here looks like a start, the beginning of one. But this one has several giant logs in it. Now this one's ginormous. And what's the coincidence of all of these coming together up like that?
Well, being that I've seen a ton of these, clearly these were Montana Bigfoot on vacation down here. Because this is the size they build up there where I live. It is a structure, it's old. Holy crap, man, there's Kelly Shaw right there.
Somehow a magnet to these.
You find a friggin' structure in the woods, half the time Kelly Shaw's standing there filming it already.
I can't really tell if this one's relocated. But it has a crook.
It is a structure, it's old.
I can't really tell if this one's relocated, but it has a crook, a fork up in it. This one's relocated. It didn't grow there. That one's looks like a relocation. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All that come together up there. Don't know if Bigfoot does this, but a lot of people think they may, so when I see them in a Bigfoot sighting location, I document them for people. There's a, call it an X. But there's an X.
Are they joined together? Are they leaning together?
I guess we can investigate.
On the trail of Kelly Shaw at 10,000 feet in the Uinta Mountains.
Seen some structures today, and now we're looking for tracks. And look at this substrate.
Perfect for finding if there's anybody walking around here.
It's still pretty hard, but we are finding tracks of hoofed animals. So there's a chance if a Bigfoot's been in the area, it might have left one too.
Stillness is crushing. It's like one of those areas where you would expect there to be Bigfoot, so we're taking a look around. Since we just found a big structure, apparently.
That's Bigfoot shaped.
Left foot?
And that's within about 100 yards of that last structure that you found. You want to measure it?
Don't have my tape measure with me this time.
I've got one.
Okay. And yep, just found a track coming out. That teepee structure's over that way, about 100 yards. And the heel here. There's the outline of the foot.
The toes.
Smaller toes.
The toes are going beyond the 16 mark. It looks like 16.5 inches in length.
Well, we're going to be conservative. We don't know how far up the hallux went. It might have gone this far, in which case it's a 17-inch track. But we could say for sure it's up to here. So it's at least a 16-inch track.
Yeah, it's at least 16. That's probably what it is.
Okay, and that's the wide spot of the foot. And we're looking at...
I see it wider up at the toes.
Yeah. Well, if you're up here where the toes are, yeah, it's more like 8.
We point out the big toe?
The hallux is right up here.
And then it goes off that way.
Yeah.
This one looks like a juvenile just because of its width. It's not as wide as an adult, but it's close to 15 inches in length. It's like they hit a certain age and their foot gets wider. It gets longer first and then wider last. And I think that's because it doesn't need to get wide until they start having some weight.
Yep.
So that one that Duke just measured and everything, it looks like there's 2 of them, and they're usually more than one. So that's probably a juvenile with an adult. So we found 2 different types. And this juvie is just like its parents. Its parents 16. It may stop at 16 and then get wider. Yeah, it'll probably get 2 to 3 inches wider after it gets to adulthood, just before adulthood. Is my guess.
These are old tracks and worn down, and there's not a lot of detail to prove for sure it's a track.
I really like how this one is really sharp on the edges.
The actual indentation of the heel's right here, and this is part of the strike. It was wet when he brought his foot down. They come down heel first, so his foot slid a little bit, and then the heel
both edges are really crisp on this one.
Both edges are really crisp, and it looks like a right foot, and the toes come up to about here, and this rock was in the way, so you don't see the rest of them.
And what side is this one, a left or a right?
This one looks like a right foot.
And the other one, the adult-sized one that's only like 15 feet from here, that it must be traveling with, that one
So if we look
was
where
a
the
left
actual
foot.
heel strike ended up at, and you can feel it right there. That's at 13 inches. So yeah, this is a juvie that's traveling with either an older brother or an adult.
It looked like it scruffed and slid a little bit before it made the big strike.
Yep, I found a whole line of them going down a hill up in
That's why I was measuring 15 at first, is because I was where its heel, sorry guys, where its heel like swiped before it made the big impact. I was counting that,
Right.
but I agree with Duke.
You can feel it.
The
when it-
actual
you
weight of
guys
the
maybe
strike
can't
is
see
right
it,
there.
but you
Oh,
can actually feel it when you put your finger in there. That's where the end of the.
so it
the deal ended
swept
up
a little
at.
bit before he bam.
So he's really, yeah, he's a little guy. He's like 12, 13 inch foot, which for a human is big, but that's a little Sasquatch.
This is a juvenile and it's traveling with that adult, and that adult has an 8-inch wide. Oh, what was the width on this one?
Here, I'll get it.
Thanks.
Sorry, I keep forgetting that.
The widest part up by the toes.
I'm looking at right
5.
now,
I'm
about 5.
getting.
Yep, and that's about right. For the younger ones, the width across the front is not equal to the length. The older ones, the width across the front, you can pretty much just double it, and that's what the length will be. And the younger ones have a thinner foot.
Okay.
So this makes perfect sense, actually.
If we had not seen the adult one, I would have just passed this up. I wouldn't even really have pointed it out. But since we've seen the adult one and it has the right dimensions for an adult, 16 long, 8 inches wide by the toes, it lends a little bit of credibility that it's got one of its youngsters with it.
And if we hadn't noticed as we were driving by that there's a suspiciously teepee looking structure on the other side of the road, we wouldn't have been over here walking around.
Yep. Well, the structure's what got us to look around this area.
And then we went, well, as long as there's stuff on this side of the road, let's go to the other side of the road, see what's over there.
I think Bigfoot has to cross a road at some time in its life to get what it needs to live. Do you see any antlers? I thought I did it first, but I think it's just a herd of
Does
and fawns and babies.
and that one baby's looking at us. What are those?
Where's your old man?
He run off, didn't he?
He'll be back after your mama kicks you to the curb.
The actual road there at some point. Now closed.
There used to be a cabin there that burned up. One of them was a historical homesteader cabin.
Now it makes sense.
Sasquatch Canyon.
Hey, there's standing water here. Well, this is a good spot to look for Bigfoot tracks since there's something to drink. We actually have to cross this creek to get to where we're going.
Oh crap. Oh, we got a blue jay. And a Bigfoot track right there. That's pretty
Stepped
obvious.
one time and look how crisp the hill is, where it probably put most of its weight as it was crossing this creek. Possibly got a drink of water.
Well, that's a right foot, so there's my heel lined up with it. I got a 12-inch long foot. Easily twice as wide as my foot is.
Did you get a measurement on the width?
Yeah, it's about 8.5, 9 inches.
That's consistent with
the
the
length.
tracks that we've been finding up here over the years. We've probably documented that same. Well, there's a Bigfoot track right here. It's in standing water. I'm going to get out a tape and measure that, but this is what we're looking around. Water sources. A Bigfoot come down, get a drink, and step in the soft substrate and leave us a really nice track. Look at the size of that flapper. We put it off to the side, this way on the big side. You're gonna have to extend your tape out a little bit further. It looks like it's 17 to 18 inches in length. Sasquatch Canyon Bigfoot. Come down to get a drink. And what's your size on it? I'm seeing
I'm looking at about a certain 18 pretty much. I always go conservative on everything.
and I want to point it out to you guys. It's easy to see that it put a lot of weight on the hill and got us a real nice hill impression. And then here's the small toe area, the side with the small toe comes up here, and then the big, what do you call the big toe on a Bigfoot?
That is the hallux. It's on a human or a Bigfoot or anything. It's that. The big toe is the hallux.
Nice. What about the width, the widest part up by the toes?
This boy's big.
I think I can see a hair underwater there too.
If that's what it is.
And we'll have to collect that DNA.
We're looking at, 9, which matches with the length, 18. If that's Bigfoot hair, we got to get it in a container right now and get it to a lab, man, or it'll degrade.
Let's get a hold of Russ Accord. He's in
He's
Vernal.
the expert. Yeah,
He can come down and rappel off the mountain so that the
And then
storm don't get this. We gotta quit picking on that guy.
Never get tired of it.
All right, well, we're gonna look for other tracks. That over there looks like another one. I don't know if it was made at the same time or an older, but that one's kind of more in the flow of the water and dilapidated quicker. But that is so cool. Bigfoot track, Sasquatch Canyon. And now we're gonna...
You guys know, we just walked in here. The road is right there. First little puddle we had to cross, there's a track.
And I'm bringing him here because this is old Ute Indian wintering grounds. And they made some cliff wall art. And one of it looks like a depiction of Bigfoot. Yeah, and the reason this canyon is called Sasquatch Canyon is in the 1970s, hunters coming in from Price had so many Bigfoot encounters and saw tracks of Bigfoot so often that as a general consensus, hunters started calling it Sasquatch Canyon. And we continue to honor that nickname because we have found hundreds of Bigfoot tracks here. Within about 4 or 5 miles, the last Bigfoot sighting happened. bow hunter crossing the dirt road in front of him. Now that we documented it, I just want to show you guys. I weigh over 200 pounds, and let me stomp a couple of times with all my weight in my heel next to it. Okay, there's my impression, and I stomped several times. It just stepped one time, and look how crisp the hill is, where it probably put most of its weight as it was crossing this creek. Possibly got a drink of water.
Well, that's a right foot, so there's my heel lined up with it. I got a 12-inch long foot. Easily twice as wide as my foot is.
Did you get a measurement on the width?
Yeah, it's about 8.5, 9 inches.
That's consistent with the
length.
tracks that we've been finding up here over the years. We've probably documented that same individual's tracks on other occasions, because I doubt that there's enough Bigfoot in the world that we keep running into different ones all the time. The ones that we find here are probably the same pod, family unit, troop, if you will, that come through here.
Yeah, I'm looking at this, and this does look like another, like you stepped there with the one foot, and then you put the other one over here afterwards, because you've still got the same size. And the whole
May
line.
have put a foot there and kneeled down and got a drink.
Yep.
All right, well, we're gonna look around for more Bigfoot evidence when we get up to that 300-year-old cave art or wall art, hieroglyphs. We'll document that for you. According to the University of Utah, the Ute Indians made them around 300 years ago.
Not sure what made this right here. See what I'm looking at?
Yeah, that looks Bigfoot shaped.
Right there. Big displacement of mud, not cow shaped.
About the same size as the other one.
Yeah, about the same size as the other one that was further that way.
Found another one. I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but it looks about the same size as the 17 to 18 inch long one that we just documented.
Straddle the river so I can get better video.
But look at the embankment that it would have stepped up on. And you know, you're 8-9 feet tall, you probably have no problem making that step. Actually, I think I see where it stepped on the embankment. Look right there, folks. I think it stepped from here and the other foot, which this is hitting me at the bottom of the chest, and you can see that it stepped and damaged that there as it headed into this. And you can see that it stepped and damaged that there as it headed into this. Just amazing that it's, you know, casually able to do something like that.
That's like up to our chest basically, and it just stepped down it like, oh, no big deal. No problem. The one end, a lot of the substrate has been disturbed, so it's hard to tell exactly how big it is. But the width looks identical to the one that we found previously, so likely the same
one that
individual.
we measured, yeah. So his right foot there, and then up this giant embankment. That's where his left foot did the damage as he stepped up onto this embankment.
Hey, we got me right here for scale. I'll go stand right there. So you can...
Well, that's like 3.5 feet. You can even measure it with your tape measure. See the embankment that it stepped up from? On the right side of the Duke is its footprint, and then the damage to the embankment is just on the left of him. Duke's 6 feet tall, by the way. And there's the damage it did to the embankment right there as it stepped up. It's at least 3 feet, maybe 3.5 feet. From on the right side of the Duke is its footprint, and then the damage to the embankment.
There's
is
my
just
track
on the
right there,
left of them.
folks. And
It's
it's
6
nice
feet
soft
tall,
ground
by the way.
stuck in it.
And
But
there's
nothing
the damage
compared to
it did
this.
the embankment right
Giant
there as it stepped up.
ground damage. And where he was, when he stepped down, he was lower there than where I am right now. I'm on the more solid embankment, and that's all mushy.
It's at least 3 feet, maybe 3.5 feet.
And that ground up here is good and torn up. Somebody was tooling around up here. Probably four-wheeling it on all fours. Hey, there's Kelly.
I really hate to make a big deal out of snap-offs, but because we're in a Bigfoot sighting hot spot, I mean, it's nicknamed Sasquatch Canyon, and we just found some Bigfoot tracks and documented them, and
that's a fresh snap. And literally the tracks we just documented in the mud were right there, and the other ones when we came across were up there.
And that is about 9 feet up. Not saying the Bigfoot that we just documented did that, the fresh one. I'm not saying he did the old one right there, but we're in an area that they supposedly do it, and the 3-mile trackway north of Minnesota proves that Bigfoot has a snapping habit.
A bad one.
Oh,
They like
possibly done by Bigfoot right there.
They like to mark their travel routes with snaps so that other Sasquatch who come through the area know that it's a safe route, and others have been using it. So that's a really good indicator, especially because that's fresh. That happened recently.
Yep, that one's this season. That one's this season. We're in the 77 sighting location in Sasquatch Canyon. We found so many tracks and structures in this area that we continue to check on it, and look at all these rose hips all ready to go for Sasquatch or whoever. And this is where the guys were camping that had the Bigfoot come up to them inside the creek. There she blows. Here's the art. Here is the Ute artwork. Okay, these used to be like 10-15 feet up in the air, and a few years ago a major landslide come through and filled up this little part of the valley, and now the artwork is eye level and a little bit above. But here's the one that looks like it's a depiction of Bigfoot, because it's like twice the height of the other figures that they make. Giant feet, kind of look like they gave it horns up there, like possibly sinister. There's another one above it up there, and animals. There's what looks to me like a bighorn sheep.
beautiful scenery up here. Where are we at, Kelly?
We are at the top of Indian Canyon.
Indian Canyon.
Action.
Aspen camo.
Yeah, you couldn't even see you in there. You blended in so well.
Fucking bright.
Aventinoquin Creek to Reservation Ridge Sasquatch investigation. We stopped to film Duke walking out of an amazing tree line of fall colors because of many aspen trees' leaves were nearly the same bright color as Duke's shirt, and we thought that it was pretty cool how he blended in well in the autumn environment. After reviewing the footage, I noticed a large dark subject on the right-hand side of the frame that appears to have a face and is staring directly at the camera at the end of the video clip. Not saying this is Bigfoot in a Sasquatch sighting hotspot location. Perhaps a dark Bigfoot-shaped anomaly with a head and face with two forward-facing eyes. The only reason this sparked my interest is because not long before we filmed this footage, lower in the canyon, in the Aventinoquin Creek area, we documented several nearly 18-inch long Bigfoot-shaped tracks in and around the creek. I have enlarged the section with interesting subject by 300% and put it through a couple of light filters to see if we can pull out more detail and see if the subject moves at all. Not sure what it is in the tree line. We will have to try and find this exact location again and see if there is anything there that seems to be a foot or two taller than 6 foot tall Duke and appears to be over double his width and girth too. This is an amazing area with several Sasquatch sightings reported on both sides of the canyon over many decades.
MK Davis here. I'm going to take a little dive into this video here that was posted by the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization. That'd be Mr. Kelly Shaw. I'm trying to get this name right. Aventinoquin Creek to the Reservation Ridge Bigfoot investigation. We're gonna try some filtration on some images that may contain a Bigfoot or two. So let's go with it. Okay, we're gonna look at this this image, this outline of a figure that's outlined with a circle up in this grove of trees that are spectacular fall colors. I think Duke Sullivan goes walking through those trees and comes out, and that's what the film that's why the film was taken there. But in looking back at it, they noticed these outlines up in the trees, and one particular was this one right here in the circle, but there's another one to the right of that. And I'm going to go and take a look at the one that's to the right of that, because it seems to have eye glow or eye shine, or whatever the term is for it. There comes Duke. Boy, that's a beautiful little grove of trees there. And if you look over to the right of the picture, you'll see in that is a dark gap. Here's some of the evidence they found around there, these tracks, and they also had some sightings in and around there. So a lot of reasons to believe that these could possibly be actual figures hiding in the trees. So it's worth the scrutiny to look at them. I got to wait till the camera comes back a little bit to the right and it's still zoomed in. Alrighty. I think I can, I'm about to get that now. Okay. I'm going to concentrate on this one over here to the right of what Kelly was talking about. Because I see these interesting looking eyes or they look like eyes. And I'm going to do some enhancements there, the filtration, that will kind of maybe tell the story if this is a Sasquatch or not. When I do this filtration, well, a lot of times, you can't hardly tell the difference between the color temperature of two different things. They're so close. And at that distance and everything, but we'll see what filtration does. Wow, that is it is taking a shape. Okay. Well, I have to say this for it. It did separate from the background what appears to be a figure. And this is the figure. And if that were eyes, they're in the proper place for eyes to be. Let's shrink it down a little bit. Sometimes you can see it better that way. All right. So what do you think? Now, this is a figure with eyes that appear to be either reflecting or glowing, and they are kind of in the background behind these trees, peeking out. And these are the very same trees that Duke Sullivan walked through. And that's what the image gives you. Could it be a Bigfoot? Yes. And as Kelly Shaw mentioned, they have found some tracks. There have been Bigfoot sightings in and around that area, and maybe it's one of the mountain giants. Anyway, I thank you for your time.
Okay, right here. This is not the way we wanted to come home from Colorado after a week-long Bigfoot expedition, but we were forced to come up this canyon. We wanted to go home through Spanish Fork, and everybody was diverted up this because there was a giant fire in Spanish Fork Canyon. So they diverted everybody up Indian Canyon, and right here there was 3 big trucks all pulling boats. 3 boats, 3 trucks, and a bunch of people on the side of the road right here. Jenny was driving. It was at the end of the expedition, and I was sick of driving, so Jenny was driving. And I'm looking at all these people in the boats, and I'm pretty sure they did not want to go this way, so they stopped to like, all right, how are we getting home now? And I'm looking at them, and almost level with them, because of all the diverted traffic, level with this across the way, there was a giant Bigfoot about 10 feet tall, and he had some cover. And he's watching all these people in the boat across here. And I start yelling at Jenny to pull over because I see a Bigfoot, and I'm grabbing the camera. He's probably about straight across from us where we're at right now, watching the people in the boat. So Jenny starts pulling over, and mind you, we're doing about 45, 50 miles an hour, and she could not get pulled over. Her first opportunity was this very next turnout.
Right up here.
Yeah, right about here. And just as we pass this tree, she gets pulled over, and I dive out of the car, and I'm staring at it because I'm grabbing the camera with my left hand, and I jump out. By the time I jump out of the car, he's disappeared. And then I'm walking back towards the people in the boat. And by this time, he was about the same distances from me as they are now from me, those guys. These things were nearly double the biggest guys' heights that were with this boat crew. Double the width, double the thickness and everything. And he disappears. Well, I'm making my way back hoping that one of them had saw the same thing. And they're oblivious to it, their backs to it. So I'm making my way, and I'm filming the mountainside, hoping that the camera catches it. I catch a glimpse of it again, and I never did see it again. And about half the distance I make from here to the people in the boats, they'd already piled in. Drove off, and I could tell they were totally oblivious to what just happened. And then Jenny and I spent a while hunting for a Bigfoot shape. I probably stared at it for 5-10 seconds, and it was staring at them. Been back many times since scouring this mountain and just can't explain what I saw other than a Bigfoot. And I could see the gaps between his legs. both arms. I mean, I full on saw him. The angle I was seeing him, he was open and clear. The people in the boat, he was actually standing behind some cover.
So they couldn't see him.
So they couldn't see him, but my angle, I could see him.
And that's where it was, over there.
And this is near the top of Indian Canyon Pass. And after I come out with the Bigfoot sighting, these giant tanker trucks that have been going by, one of the tanker truck drivers got a hold of me, and just on the other side of the pass, he was coming the opposite direction as where he saw the Bigfoot. And he saw it in the wintertime, in the snow. So it stood out like a sore thumb because it was black. He thought it was a bear at first till it stood up and started walking.
That was kind of a dead giveaway.
Okay, and then after I'd come out with my Bigfoot sighting, several months later, the very first episode, very first season of Portals to Hell, Jack Osborne's show, he interviewed a guy down in Duchesne that 6 months before my sighting, he saw a Bigfoot while he was out on horseback. And he explained the same thing as me, a big black one. And he tried chasing it down with his horse and it outran him.
And we're estimating that the height on the individual here was about 2 gimlins.
Conservatively saying 9 feet tall, but he was probably closer to 10. I actually think it was this turnoff that her and I pulled
That's
over
fine.
on.
Nobody could tell.
Yeah, it's close. I actually think it was this one that we finally pulled off. Because Jenny didn't immediately start stopping for me. She didn't believe me. She looked at me like, you're full of shit. And I'm like, no, a Bigfoot, pull over. She thought I was yanking her chain for a second there. And I was not. I need to get out of four-wheel drive and all that.
That's the actual tree in Kelly's view of the Bigfoot that was further down the canyon that was watching the guys with the boats over here. He had to actually get out and go over and get it back in view again.
Yeah, but by the time I popped out on the other side of the tree, it was gone, and I never caught up with it again. I was filming the mountainside the whole time in case I could catch him on the camera somewhere, and I've gone over the footage with the fine-tooth comb, and
Just can't freaking find
he just disappeared. I'm wondering if us pulling over right here.
Probably.
He's like, I'd better get out of Dodge.
Screw it, human spotted
And
me.
you know what? The fire that diverted us up the canyon, I'm wondering if the fire's the reason why he was like exposed. He may have been here for the same reason, getting away from the fire. So
Could be.
The fire, I mean, we weren't supposed to be here. The fire brought us here, so it was a bunch of circumstances that come together that created that opportunity. And it was just before dark. A lot of people, why don't you go hiking over there? And I go, well, one, there's an active fire in the area, and they're wanting people to get the hell out of here. And the other, that the sun was about ready to go down.
Yeah.
For us to go tromping across in the woods to go looking for him or evidence, it just didn't make sense at the time.
Unless you're suicidal.
We did come back the week later and scour this area, though. Jenny and I was coming back from Colorado, the Grand Mesa, on a Bigfoot expedition. On the way back, we got detoured to Highway 191. We were supposed to be going on Highway 6, but there was a massive wildfire. They detour us, and coming up over Indian Canyon, we pass a bunch of boaters. We're pulled over, and the people were standing there on the side of the road. I see a dark black Bigfoot shape, and it looked like it was staring at the boaters and the people standing outside of the boats and the trucks on the side of the road. So I yell at Jenny to pull over. She pulls off to the side of the road. The clearing that this Bigfoot was standing in the middle of, the trees obscured it. We were at such an angle. So I grab the camera and I jump out of the car, and I get a couple of car lengths, and I get the camera on and started recording, and I'm recording the mountainside right now that I saw it on, and I circled the spot where I saw it. It looked like it was 8 to 10 feet tall. The domed head, the profile of it squared off in the direction of the people that were pulled over with the boats. It was right in the middle of that clearing. And, it could have been a bear. It could have been, a 9-foot tall bear. I say 8 to 10 feet, so I'm going to cut down
right in the middle, 9 feet tall. You know, if it was, grizzlies aren't supposed to be here, and it was dark black. And the legs looked a lot longer. I've seen a lot of bears, and the legs looked a lot longer in proportion to the body than a bear. But it was squared off in their direction. I jump out of the car, and I start going back. And like I said, the angle we were at, a tree and stuff was covering where it was at. I get to a point where I should be able to see it, and it's not there. And I keep going towards the boaters, and I'm looking at the guys standing outside of their truck, and I'm like, this thing is huge. Well, these guys are a couple of 100 yards from me by the time we got pulled over and everything. In the direction of that clearing's a couple of 100 yards. Just that proportion alone, I'm like, this thing's huge. You know, is it a bear? Was it a Bigfoot? Looking over at these people out of curiosity. I don't know, maybe it was just a coincidence and it hid before I jumped out of the car and started getting back to where I could get a look at it. Maybe it saw me looking up at it in its direction and noticed that someone was looking at it and it hid. It couldn't have gone very far. You know, by the time I jumped out of the car, the last time I saw it, and I'd stared at it for a good 5 or 6 seconds, long seconds. And then by the last time I saw it and got the camera on and got to a position where I should be able to see it, it'd only been like 10 seconds. So it couldn't have gone very far. You know, I've been looking around the mountainside on this couple of minutes of footage I filmed trying to find it again. You know, is it tree peeking across at me? I don't know. I don't see anything that looks Bigfoot shaped. If you guys see anything, let me know. I don't know if it was a bear, but from my perspective, if it was a bear, it was just gigantic. And to put in perspective, just a couple of years ago, across a draw like this, Jenny saw a bobcat and directed my attention on it. Really well camouflaged bobcat, and they only get about 30 pounds. Small compared to a Bigfoot or a bear. But she got my attention on it, and I zoomed in on it, and we got some really good footage of it. So, just putting that in perspective. I saw something on 2 legs standing across there. Dark black. The legs looked longer than what I would think a bear should be. It looked taller than what a bear should be. I mean, 9-10 feet tall is even big for a brown bear. Look around in the cover below, above, to the left, the right. I mean, you guys see anything Bigfoot like? Let me know. Alright, keep on watching. We're going to keep on squatching.
Yeah, seeing big cats in the wild is kind of hard.
Oh, yeah, there he goes.
You can still see him?
Oh, yeah. I don't see him now.
That was cool.
Well, I think I recorded him for like 5 seconds.
They got cops up here.
Yeah, there's got cops, fire departments.
At the beautiful St. Julian Hotel. Spa. Very pretty place. Wednesday morning. Got up, went outside to have a cigarette, and when I was coming back into the building, ran into someone that I know. What are the chances? What the hell are the chances? Hey, it's Jimmy. And go to the Gaia studios and meet Jimmy Church in person and meet all of the Gaia crew and everything, and it was awesome. And it was a great trip. Of course, you can't have fun like that and come back home and think nothing. Really nice hotel. I'm here with
Duke Sullivan.
I'm here with the amazing Jimmy Church.
Duke.
Jimmy!
Thank you, brother.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thanks so much for having me here.
Do you want a picture?
Here's some awesome crew, our
Is this
awesome
mine?
crew. And they are awesome, all of them. Everybody that I met here, they're spectacular. Class A. But I got to go do another little interview thingy here, so.
Duke, let's take pictures. Quit goofing around. Love this guy.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
You have a great time, man. I mean, you did a great job.
Oh, thank you.
Talk to you soon.
I'm looking forward to going Bigfoot with you next.
Oh, hell yeah. We'll do it,
Gotta
man.
show up.
Really nice.
The Weston, we have a Weston and Boulder.
Yeah, it's like 528.
Green room.
It's on Boulder. What's the other
There's all the superheroes that run the show back here. Really nice setup. Gaia Studios. Having all kinds of fun here today. Meeting a bunch of new people.
Maybe I'm thinking the Hyatt.
You are, honey.
Quite the setup. Very nice.
We've created a social media.
Look at her dancing.
addicted monster.
You're going to be on my channel, you know that. Dennis from Alternate Planes, who's now modeling our latest in our line of sporty mid-size X structures. And apparently they made an asterisk structure over here too. This one didn't used to be here. Okay, interesting. Another X over this way.
That was one page.
I hear it again.
It's a
I
big
don't.
Toe prints. Found another one. Impact crater. You can see the impression.
Snapped off trees. It's almost kind of freaky. Welcome back to Alternate Planes. On today's episode, we've teamed up with Duke from World Bigfoot Central, and I'll be breaking down two separate hunts that we did with Duke. One with his camera. No, that's not right. Yeah, it is. Sorta. On today's episode. Get it, man.
You got
I don't
two
know
hunts. One with Jen.
I know,
One camera.
yeah. Is it okay with glasses on? Or does it look like shit?
We have to do the whole thing over. We're going to be cutting two.
Welcome back to Alternate Planes. We've teamed up with Duke from World Bigfoot Central to break down two separate Bigfoot hunts that we did together. The first hunt included our guest host, Jen, and we used both our high-quality camera and Duke's video camera. The second hunt was just me and Duke, and for that one, we relied heavily on Duke's video camera and even my cell phone to get footage. You'll see a mix of video quality tonight, but all the footage is raw, real, and captured out there in the Montana wilderness. Let's jump into hunt number one.
Here they come to save the day. Team Alternate Planes is on its way. Down in Elks Valley here in Oklahoma. Taking a look around.
As you can see, Duke really scans the area. He is looking for any signs of Bigfoot. He is very meticulous. Heel, toe, toe, toe. That's the brachial spot. Like their foot breaks here. It has a flex joint. This may possibly be... I didn't bring my tape measure. Duke's got one. So if that's indeed a spot, there might be one behind you. The stride length alone caught our attention immediately. So there'd be a spot. Damn, 6 foot stride. So probably right in here.
Just found this. Apparently they decided to dump things into the mine. Somebody didn't like that sign. I was just over there following a really well beaten game trail that goes along the edge of the mountain over there. I gotta get back to team alternate planes that I left up there somewhere because they're slow. But yeah, I'll get back to them.
Find something? I think I may have found a spot next to this little sapling. Heel, brachial spot, toes. What do you think?
Too old to tell. Probably 2 cow tracks.
Well, Duke says that that footprint is most likely an old cow track. It is an interesting find. He's the expert, not me. So when you're out in the Montana wilderness, you usually hear birds, chipmunks, squirrels making some kind of noise. When we were out there, the feeling of being watched, you normally don't hear the forest that quiet. It really is unnerving to feel the quietness of the forest.
I'd be very surprised if cows are going up and down anything this steep. They're up here on this road bed.
This is where things got really interesting for us. Oh, I see. In this direction. Going this way, right?
It's all gray right in here. You can see the impression of the foot. And around it, it's all darker brown. It got rained on a couple days ago. Some just disturbed this since last rainfall. And it looks like about 15 inches, whatever it was. So, let's see what else we can find here.
These prints were deep and led directly into the wood line. Our high-quality camera gave us a clear view of the area, even at daylight. We'd immediately spotted signs something big had been through here. Let's push down right here.
So you can see the outline all the way around the edge of it.
Oh, yeah.
The ground was crushed, by the way, so that's not like 2 cow tracks. How much you want to bet?
15.
Uh-huh.
Whatever made these prints wasn't small.
Impact crater. You can see where the heel squished the ground. Toes end up there somewhere. It's about the same size as that scuff mark that we found earlier, 15 inches. Could be same individual.
Dense, remote, and untouched. Perfect territory for something to move unseen. You can see Duke's paws here. Something about this layout just didn't sit right with him. There's 2 prints.
And if you'd been here a couple weeks earlier, when they were still fresh, you would have been able to see this a little bit better. See the toes? Toe, 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 toe. And big huge outline down to the heel. There's also a ground displaced right there, and right there, and right there. Somebody was going along the edge of this embankment.
Those pretty defined toes, man. Big toe. Like they were just walking like this, right? Climbing. You think that was whooping, or do you think that was a dog barking?
That was whooping.
It was whooping. So when me and Jen were walking on that path, we heard something. It sounded like a whoop. Very hard to describe because it was somewhat faint, but it was loud enough that we both heard it, made us both stop on our track to see what it was. Here. I hear it again.
It's a big bird.
I don't know if the audio caught it, but we could hear it. I hear it again. So odd to be able to hear your own heartbeat when you're walking. Okay. Oop, who would knock? Couple. Listen closely. There is a faint impact to the right. That way. Who would knock? Couple. Who would knock? Couple. I think between that and the growl, it's probably time to leave.
That's what I'm thinking. Should I keep moving?
Jen mentioned feeling watched in this moment, even though she didn't say much on camera. Okay. I heard it. That was quite the hike. We're back at the truck, so. After reviewing this footage, Duke asked me to come back out on another hunt. And this is where things got really strange.
Just leaving Missoula, heading for Lolo. We're going to go down the valley and go up the Scalahoo Pass, where Area A is, and up there it's probably looking a lot like the mountains over there. You can see the tops up there covered in snow already.
Even though we didn't have our fancy cameras and all of our fancy gear, we were still able to catch some really strange structures and evidence to prove the existence of Sasquatch.
I'm up in the Scalahoo. Dennis from Alternate Plains, who's now modeling our latest in our line of sporty mid-size X structures. And apparently they made an asterisk structure over here too. This one didn't used to be here.
We've seen this style of structure reported in Bigfoot research all across America.
Okay. Interesting. Another angle on it.
Branches woven together and positioned deliberately. This wasn't random. And what did you call this structure?
It's an asterisk structure.
An asterisk? Structures like this just don't appear. This was built. So, big X. And if you see the way that it's pinned in between the trees there, pinned, and again on that side, it is also pinned in.
Another angle on it. Dennis is right there. And yeah, there's the X right there.
See the logs are pinned down. See that log there is pinned there and loops over and is bent down and pinned there. And then this log here is stretched around the trunk of this tree and pinned in there. See all the barks on the trees are scrubbed off from them pushing it in. It's very fascinating. And you can see the end of this log here that is not broke off from the stump. This was carried and then pushed in and pinned right there. See that? You see how it's done? It's ground in. They grind them in and pin it.
There's a giant teepee.
Oh, right there. When Duke and I first came upon that structure, my mouth just dropped. Then it hit me. This thing was big. It was impossible from where it was at. That is one big teepee structure. In Duke's undisclosed area, which I'm not allowed to tell anybody about. The only teepees bigger than 50 feet are modern monuments made of steel. Those are bolted into concrete foundations and lifted with cranes. Nothing about what we found fits human construction out here in the middle of nowhere. And you can see that these logs were moved in and not broken off. And they are not trees that just fell over. There's a couple of trees that they've utilized to lay the other ones against. But then they are interlocked at the top. Those are carried in. It is a very massive structure. Here comes Duke coming down the hill. While we were on our hike and we were on our way down towards the teepee structure, there's a spot where we didn't go back to video it. Duke didn't see it, I did see it, and I saw what looked like an old gray dead tree. But it was interesting because the top of the tree looked like roots. At some point, I would really like to go back up there, revisit that spot, because it looks like it could be an upside down tree. So the upside down trees, they are the rarest form of tree structure when they literally rip a tree out of the ground and they plunge it upside down into the earth below. I don't know what would take that kind of power or what could even do that outside of using something like an excavator. That is some really strong hydraulic power to be able to drive a tree straight into the ground. There were no saw marks, no tool marks, nothing that pointed to human craftsmanship. These logs were snapped off at the base, just broken, and then moved and placed.
This tree right here is upside down, butt end up. How'd that happen? And the two littler ones in front of it are put into place. There's no root system.
They're not attached to anything. You see this? They're just broke off.
And no roots on that one.
Stood up. Here's the bottom of a log. And here is the top of the log. So how is the stump end up here? I am almost afraid to get in the middle of it because I don't want to do anything wrong that upset Sasquatch, but we're going to do it. For perspective, the tallest documented wooden teepee structure in the world is just over 51 feet. And that one was built in Switzerland by the fire department with crews, equipment, on flat ground. What we found was in the deep backcountry, miles from roads or trails, no equipment, no machinery. Duke, I'm glad you're a much better woodsman than me. I don't think I even know the way back to the truck.
Yeah, I'll let you know when I remember. This thing is just freaking gigantic. You know, little Dennis looks underneath that thing.
It is massive, and I'm 6 foot.
And this is the largest documented teepee structure ever.
Traditional teepees use wooden poles that are 20 to 30 feet long. Those already require multiple people and a clear area to set it up. This thing doubled that size and used multi-ton logs instead of lightweight poles. Oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine. Look at the size of this. There's some root to it, but there's no root in the ground. There's nothing here.
There's secondary structure. They've got one back over there.
Yeah. Standing directly under the teepee structure. Feels almost like I shouldn't even be standing here. I don't know about you guys, but it's almost kind of freaky. We could say anybody could have moved them, right? But who? We're a couple miles off of the road, and we're out here in the middle of freaking nowhere.
There's no roads here. There's no trails here. There's not even a freaking game trail coming in.
The only thing out here is me and Duke. What are the chances of this log being driven in between these 3 trees during windfall? And then you see how it scraped all that bark off? That's something jamming this big old log in there. That to me is purposeful. Just like that structure there, and just like the teepee that's there. 2 different hunts, 2 different kinds of evidence. Footprints, structures, and something pacing us in the woods. I can't say for sure what it was, but I know we weren't alone out there. What do you think? Well, we had to get pretty far out into the woods to try and find what we found. Overall, it was a great hunt. Both days, I think we got really good evidence. It's a lot of work. When you are trying to hike over deadfall that is taller than your waist and walk for a couple of miles into the bush at 7,000 plus feet, it gets tough. Your muscles start to cramp. You're struggling for oxygen. It gets pretty intense. You have to be careful. If any of you want to go out there on your own, don't do it. Go with somebody else. Make sure that you're prepared for literally anything, and let somebody else know where you and your friends are going. Thank you for watching another episode. Do you believe in alternate planes?
So make sure that you're kind to everyone. Safety first, last, and always. Pay it forward. Don't be mean to people if you don't have to be. Don't flip off the mountain giant. Don't poke Dogman with a stick. Don't punt the puck, would you? And for God's sake, whatever you do, do not hug the Wookiee.